We're here. We're at the experimental first ever Liveitloveitpodcast. We bring on a guest. We're going to talk about random EWA past, present, and future. I figured for the first podcast, we would talk about why we started EWA. Where'd it come from? How'd we come up with it? So I got one of the other people who helped me come up with the idea, along with, I would say, me, you, and CFH were basically the three original people who came up with it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with Mike Kyoto.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had 14 to 24 different characters, but I would say that's your most memorable one. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to keep it to just
Yeah. I mean,
gimmick names for if we have to.
UNC, yeah, right. UNCFH certainly were the funding on it.
Yes.
And the fact that a fast food restaurant job funded it to the beginning is pretty amazing.
Yes, how half the roster at one time were the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and how did they even run a shift when we were having an event?
Well, we had to do a Monday and a Thursday so that the guys that worked, we could switch shifts on.
It was basically like the important guys got the Monday and Thursday off, and then the secondary guys kind of either got one or the other.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? You can catch the next event for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So to give a perspective, I was thinking about this, and what was going on in the wrestling business was Stone Cold Steve Austin just won his first world title.
Okay.
It was in the middle of Goldberg with his undefeated streak. And ECW was when RVD had his nearly 2-year TV title reign. So that's a whole hell of a lot of wrestling history that's going on at this.
Well, that was
for inspiration.
It was what, 97?
It was August of '98.
August of '98. Okay. Man, what?
Which is kind of weird because it went from August of '98, and then the first year didn't turn into the second year until about February of 2000.
We had a good stretch.
So there was 35 events in a very different year because it was not just a calendar year. It was actually, 16 months, 17 months?
And we had snow wrestling, too. I mean, we didn't do a lot of it.
Oh, yeah, okay, so...
We certainly decided it was a great idea to go into November and December.
Now, as EWA was not originally EWA, if you remember, it was the WWA, the World Olympic Wrestling Alliance, which lasted for an entire 3 events before we moved to Euclid.
Oh, that's right. So we had the first snow one here, right? We had the first event here.
Yes, we had the first 3 events here. The beginning, outside Will's house, and Below Zero. Blood Drive was our first event in Euclid.
The fact that we had an event called Outside Will's House is absolutely amazing.
The second event.
I will have to get reacquainted with that because I don't remember anything from that. I remember the first one because it was kind of memorable.
Oh, I remember the first one because somebody hit you in a crucifix and I kind of hit you in the head with a steel chair.
Yeah, that was the first major bump I took and was like, oh, okay.
So that's how I remember the first one.
Yeah, that is absolutely. I also didn't have a gimmick name until 20 minutes before we were wrestling. It wasn't a great name.
Now, I could remember that our first EWA champion, I just sent Evil Aggressor out there with the title. Honestly, with the mindset of, well, we all kind of suck, and we all know he's going to be the one who sucks the most, so we might as well just give him some glory now because it's not necessarily going to come around.
Did that actually count as him having a title?
No, now he's considered the first EWA heavyweight champion. Is the Evil Aggressor?
Isn't that was it Snuka was the first ECW champion? Just give somebody the belt.
He was gifted the belt for the first champion because...
Wow, we really need to have a clip thrown in because I can just recall us with the huge amp, the guys talking on the
and then it was just
when you couldn't hear anything.
Yes, I forgot about the huge amp.
And I think that had to have lasted 1 event, maybe 2 events, maybe.
It was just a bunch of muffle.
Yeah, you couldn't hear, because they would be on the other side of the yard, somebody would be filming over here, and then the commentating guys would be over here, and I was like, dude, you can't hear anything they're saying anyways.
We used your mom's camera.
Only maybe. 1, right? Was it 2? Did we use 2 of her cameras? She had that nice the
yeah, that's the one we used for until we got the The infamous trip to Walmart when we bought the camera, the gauze, the rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, there was handcuffs too.
It was like
It was Walmart.
I
at
just
like
remember the guy looking at us like
2 a.m.
What the
and just
hell?
like, you guys.
I don't know what you got planned, but you know what? All this
That's
stuff is
right.
legal for me to
That's
sell
right.
you,
That's right.
and I'm just gonna give it to you, and we're gonna go on our merry way.
Was that in Euclid? No, that was after that, right?
Yeah, that was after that.
So
That
I was
was
gonna
at
say.
the original I Am the Champion
I
here.
feel like that's when we were lighting.
That was
stuff
at
on
Whopping
fire.
event number 5.
That was in Euclid?
Yes,
Oh.
that was in Euclid.
I don't remember that.
The original I Am the Champion.
You can know that at that time, I don't think I cameraed a single time. Like, I didn't want, like, that camera came anywhere near me, and I was like, no, I'm going to go wrestle for the 9th time today. I want no part of cameraman. Which you think I probably would have went for more.
It's crazy to think. It's like 1, 5, 8 events in Euclid. That was it.
Yeah.
It seemed like a hell of a lot more than that.
I mean, we burned down the neighborhood a little bit. Allegedly burned down the neighborhood.
You know, there's allegedly footage of T. Johnson Lee starting the fire.
And we need that clip right here of him just blowing on the board. He's like, I didn't do it.
It's like, dude,
Come
I
on,
can't-
we watched you do it. You fucking lying for it.
Well, you almost burned down the neighborhood. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I committed arson.
Clearly, I tried to burn down the neighborhood.
I mean, you gotta have your lawyer present for that one. I mean,
Allegedly. Also, the first 420, right, was on 99, right? Was that 420 of 99?
yes.
Which was Columbine, because I remember coming home and my mom being like, where the hell were you? There was a school shooting, and it was like, what? At North? It wasn't at North.
No, it wasn't. No, I 8,
Right?
actually 15 events in Euclid. Okay, that sounds
Okay, I
good.
was going to say, it had to be
15 because they had the 420 there. That was the day of Columbine, April 20th, 1999.
Yeah.
Or as main event trend, I would say, we were living it up. Well, they were living it up too, as he would say.
Certainly they were. Yeah, that wasn't an event for sure. I only wrestled like 5 times. Busted my ribs. Because somebody, I don't remember exactly who, CFH?
It was greatest. Got us the greatest clip of all time, though. Of go to Japan tonight.
I was in real bad shape.
I remember that was the first time I ever
You were
smoked a tobacco/weed cigarette before.
You were so fucking mad at me about that because you're like, we're the main event, dude.
I
Why
know.
did you leave?
Well, I just remember. Oh yeah, I could wrestle a 5th time. Well, guess what? You couldn't.
I could not. I couldn't. And that's when I thought I was Sabu for sure. So I was doing all kinds of shit that I shouldn't have been doing. Like, oh, I'm just going to do a standing 450.
Thank God I interfered in that one match and claimed I was part of it because. Could you imagine me not? I'm the only person on this earth who's been in all of the 18 420 spectaculars. I almost wasn't in the first one because
Somebody
had to wrestle 5 times.
How was
Well,
I-
actually, I think it was only 4 the
How
5th
was
time.
I going to be Nightmare when I was already Nightmare? I don't.
You know, that's when we were. That's when you just went out there a couple times and it.
There was no card. It was just go wrestle. Just go wrestle. We're gonna have fun.
I think the 420 though, that was at least there was more of a card than usual.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where it was just go out there and wrestle. But at
Well,
least that one, it was like.
Well, and everybody was trying to do a little extra because we knew that was the WrestleMania version of EWA.
Oh, I remember I spent a little bit extra time in ring crew that night. Ring crew was, of course, going into little pantry and just completely baking it out until you couldn't like see the person next to you,
I didn't.
and there was a light in there.
I don't think I partook in ring crew until I was much older. I think it was post Euclid is when. Honestly, I don't remember. Maybe I did.
I remember I did. That's all I can say.
Yeah. The Euclid era.
Rosa was head of ring crew.
Yeah. There was quite a bit of fun at the Euclid era because there was 0 adults present. It wasn't our property.
Right. All the adults were.
Yeah,
They were
They would
barely
pull-
adults themselves.
they would pull the curtains closed and be like, "Yeah, those kids are wrestling in the backyard again." We actually had a ring though.
Yeah, I mean,
For the most
first,
part, we had a ring.
iteration of a ring. Couldn't really use the ropes, but hey, at least it was something to land on that wasn't ground.
It wasn't ground. Good start there.
Which we did bring back to my house when we came back at Second Chance. It was just the little bump pad, which we were definitely not architects at the time. It's like, let's have all the major support right in the middle of it. So I mean it was 16 by 16. If you used one side or the other, you're okay. But
yeah, but man, if you took a bump in the middle,
but yeah, who would
you felt all of that bump in the middle.
All the major support was in the middle, so it's like
we didn't really think
maybe
that out too well.
I mean, it was pretty good for what it was. I mean, for what it was, it worked. But yeah,
it worked. When did we officially move to the other East Lake yard, down the hill yard?
That was year 3.
That was year 3?
Yes.
Jesus. I was watching that match, the one.
Okay.
Where I gave you that crucifix bomb that was like every ounce of strength I had was used to get you up and
my
over.
130 pounds, which might as well have been 260 pounds, because I didn't
blood in that one, right?
Yes.
Because I had the blood all over the side of me. That's right. That was a good time.
Vote for Kyoto.
Vote for Kyoto. I had no direction with that character. I didn't have direction in any of my characters. Name a story arc that we had in EWA.
I mean, you feuding with Hubie Jenkins.
When we both died in the ring.
What event was that? That was somewhere around here. I don't exactly remember.
Yeah.
But yes, we both just kind of stopped and
we just were like, we're done from. We're gonna take 2 minutes and just.
I think that was the day that we wrestled 4 times. It's 4 different characters. I didn't even have 4 characters, and I somehow wrestled these 4 characters. So.
I think that was also the day that Watch Me Come hit me from behind. And, like, he was a football player and a wrestler, and he blindsided me. And he hit me so hard I threw up. Like, I just collapsed. And was like, oh, every ounce of air is out of my body. Just laying on the ground like, what did I just get hit by? Well, it was Watch Me Come. The terrible revolution.
I could say, yeah, it was... A lot of people who started in the first year, obviously. I mean, all-time EWA legends. Yumi, Triple X, CFH.
Yeah.
The Little T and Terrible / Turbo Johnson Lee, depending if he's a good guy or a bad guy.
You wore the hat?
Crash Contra.
Crash Contra.
Oh, jeez, I remember wearing the hat, smoking weed, playing the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, the hat with the mullet on the back.
Yeah.
And then eventually we're like, dude, we need to find that picture. I'm sure I have that somewhere. Where he's just sitting in the chair, just all unhappy. Classic.
Just remember, it's like, nope, we can't smoke weed unless we're fishing.
Yeah, and there was no point for us to be fishing. We had already beat whatever we got.
It was
we got the heart container, but we were just like,
it was like, all right, it's time to ass off and go fishing, which was code.
Let's get fucked up.
Yeah, so our code to smoke one.
Let's get high and play some fishing.
We do not condone the underage use of any illegal substances at EWA.
Would never do that. I mean, but think of how huge that roster was. The roster was big enough that we had like multiple factions, and it wasn't like, I mean, I understand I was in like 90% of the factions. It's some character. Hell, I had my own at one point in time too. Probably multiple.
We probably had more people at that time than any other time, plus multiple characters for those people. So
yeah, I mean that was the WWF Attitude Era when we were making all the characters in the game. Probably filled a memory card.
That Attitude. Game sucked, but man, making all those characters and just having them simulate wrestling was like the best part of it.
Literally the only reason Contra got any kind of a push was because of that character. Because we were just like, this kid is going to break one of our necks. He is a monster. And then he came out and was like probably one of the fucking best wrestlers of that era for sure. Like, he knew what he was doing. He was always safe.
Multiple time champion.
Mikey Steele might not say that he was always safe.
Well, that's when he got That's when he was a little guy.
Yeah, he didn't have
that big bumping ass. Yeah,
he didn't have the Rikishi butt to pad his landings. But yeah, I mean, think about that. We were still sophomores in high school, maybe juniors, maybe freshmen. What was that 90?
I think we started as freshmen.
Freshmen.
It was like freshman and half a sophomore year.
Yeah, and we were just getting people left and right. Like, that was the best part. It's like, you'd get somebody to show up, and then all of a sudden there'd be 3 other people, and like, who the fuck are these guys? And they're like, oh, they're here to wrestle. Like, part of the football team was there, some of the like, the group that was EWA at the beginning was such a insane amount of
Like
different
people who would never like.
yeah, never fucking talk to each other outside of like, so we're gonna wrestle or what? And you're like, oh, I don't even know you, but yeah, let's go.
You'd have like Bruno Pigface from down the street just come over and be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrestle. Like,
You guys are having an event tonight? Cool. Can I wrestle? Like, yeah, absolutely you can.
Fat Joe, you know.
We're gonna pad this runtime a little bit by go out there and do something stupid. Have an eating contest.
I remember that.
Yeah. That was back here, right? So was that like year?
That was still year one.
That was still year one.
Yes. Year one was what, 35 events? It was.
Jesus.
That's what I'm
Christ.
saying. It was like,
What were we thinking?
oh, we were thinking, dude, wrestling was the hottest thing. It was actually cool to like watch wrestling.
Yeah.
You had to like. My strategy was okay. You watch the first hour of Nitro,
Mhm.
watch Raw,
Mhm.
sleep for an hour,
Mhm.
get up, watch the rerun of Nitro, because you couldn't be the one who didn't know what was going on.
Then call Rob and tell him because my poor ass didn't have any kind of cable. So I was going to Rajas.com.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Lords of Pain.
Lords of Pain. Fuck yeah.
I think Lords of Pain's still around.
I think Lords of Pain might be something else now.
No, it's still wrestling.
Well, I think it was difference between .com and .net.
Okay, well maybe that. Okay, yeah.
Because I can remember you being like, oh yeah, go to Lords of Pain. I was like, yeah. So, whoa, what the fuck? What am I looking at? I'm interested, but this isn't wrestling. Yeah, it was the hottest time. Like, you could wear a DX shirt to school. You could wear an NWO shirt to school, and people weren't like, oh, look at these idiots.
You could wear Rob's stolen Tommy Dreamer shirt to school.
He may or may not have stolen my Tommy Dreamer. That was a great shirt. I got that from Hills for like $12, like a billion years ago. But I was a husky.
Yes, that's another thing.
I was a
don't
husky
know.
lad, so there
I
was
don't
no
know if the
way.
Tommy Dreamer shirt was necessarily.
There was no way.
It was more of my size than your size.
That shirt was probably a medium, and I was trying to squeeze it on an extra large body, and it was like, yeah, no, it fits. It fits, Mom.
And then, of course, my small little 130 pounds, it's like, you know what, yoink.
Oh, it's raining. Do you got something I can wear? Yeah, sure. I want it back. It was gone. It was gone forever. Tommy Dreamer era. But yeah, no, I mean, wrestling at that time was just everything. Like, we had that cross TV shows, movies, and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we had EWA here, but we also had known other areas that this area that kids were wrestling. I mean, I call them kids because we were absolutely kids.
Eastlake, Willoughby, Brecksville.
Yeah. I mean, there was, at one point in time, in a more popular area around here, was the wrestling store.
Oh, yeah, that was in Mayfield.
Like, yeah, and it was like, dude, was super cool on the fact, I mean, everything in there was way over expensive, but the coolest part was he was slinging tapes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the backyard wrestling. That's how we found out about that.
Oh, yeah, I bought the CAPW tapes and like.
Oh, yeah.
Tapes.
I think, yeah. Tape trade day. Yeah, back then, and it was the best backyard wrestling. We had the Alliance of Violence guys.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Lines of Violence in South.
You bought that tape, right?
Yes.
Because I remember watching it. Because I remember we were like, that had to have been like early. No, it wasn't even MySpace era. Jesus, was there even internet then? I mean, obviously there was internet.
There was internet, but
because I can remember like looking through their website and being like, "Oh man, these dudes got a website." That's so
I think
cool.
it might have even been before any of MySpace even.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, in one of those old events, I could hear T. John's Lee being like, "Hey, does anybody know what time it is? Does anybody have a pager?"
Yeah, there was no cell phones then.
Like this whole brick, I would say it took me 6 years to get a DVD player to make DVDs. I had to go back and make them all from tape.
Dude, your first, like, the setup that this guy has had for making all of this. Like, I remember you bought a floor model double cassette recorder, VHS recorder. I think it was like Best Buy or something like.
Oh, the double cassette. It wasn't even a DVD yet. That's right.
I remember that showing up and you being like spend all my birthday money. I'm going all in. Look at what I can do now. And being blown away. That was like, wait, you could record it here, and I can make tapes so much faster. It's good times, man.
I think I was even able to like hook a third VCR up to it, play that as the master one, and make two copies at the same time.
That's right. That was around the era that we had like the EWA music videos that we had.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was making highlight tapes.
Highlight tapes, yeah.
The highlight tape.
Contra actually was talking about my highlight tape. He's like, I think I got your DVD somewhere. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. How the fuck long have you had that? And more importantly, when did I get a DVD? Like, when we were cleaning out my mom's house, I have my snapped Kyoto tape. I was like, oh
wow.
I'm not getting rid of, like, a lot of stuff's getting thrown away, but I have no way of watching this, but I have it.
I almost have to make a DVD of that.
Well, I'd love to watch it and try and figure out, like, oh, this is as much as I had wrestled. You know, if it was Kyoto year one or, you know, right around the time the orange pants came out.
Oh, jeez. Just remember they all snapped off and you...
It was a great idea in theory. I should have stitched those shut a little bit.
The original High Authority. A gimmick that still lives on today.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, the High Authority Hubie Jenkins.
Yeah. And I wasn't even planned on being a part of it.
It was, what was it? Celtic Killer, Kyoto, Team.
Well, and I had only been Mike Kyoto. Like, my primary character, Mike Kyoto, was... let's see here. Let's hit allegedly's as much as possible. There was a young man in Pennsylvania who got a total elimination that broke his ankle.
Allegedly broke his leg and knocked out his braces.
Allegedly had a total elimination.
I mean, how fabricated that story, I don't know. Maybe none of that happened. Maybe all that happened.
So, because we had so many characters and stuff like that, I think everybody had a ref at some point in time. And I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I feel bad for that kid. So I'm going to be Mike Kyoto, but I'm going to be like the most juiced up, crazy person. And somehow that was the one that got over. Titles and all that.
I just remember just yanking you away from the DOD, just like, I'm going to be part of the DOD. And I'm like,
We didn't even talk about that. Like,
no,
I don't even think we talked about any of that. Like,
I was going to talk to you about after event, then CFH was just like, hey, why don't you could join DOD? And you're like, I was like, you know what?
Yeah. You're like, no, the fuck you're not.
You
yeah, you literally, in the video, are like, no,
I'm just kind of like, hey, come here, you know what?
No.
Like, it looks like it's planned out, because it's like so, like...
It was so smoothly done that it looks like it was planned out, but nobody in that had any idea what was happening, and I'm just like, yeah, sure, let's do that instead. And grew High Authority to its next level.
Oh my goodness, High Authority's been around for... I mean, we've had High Authority, even double factions of High Authority, when Unlimited and Joe Probation kind of took our gimmick and brought it somewhere else.
That's right.
Which would have been okay if, we weren't there trying to do it.
I kind of recall there being like a, hey, is it cool if I get the shirt made?
Oh, okay. They're like, oh, no, it's different. We're red. We're red and black, not orange and black. It's like,
oh, yeah, okay. Sure, guy. Sure, whatever you say.
They couldn't pull it off like we could, though.
No, hell no. Didn't have the chemistry. And that wasn't even planned. Like, I think, wrestled better than we did any, like, tag together. Like, because prior to, like, when I had the Nightmare gimmick, like, I was trying to be Mr. Wrestling's, like, foe, you know? There was, I don't know, we didn't tag up on anything.
Yeah, we don't really do many tags. No. Tags just never really worked out. There's always, like, the Bar Stars, of course, had to vacate their belt. Like, just through the 25 years of, since EWA's been around, tag matches have never been.
It just worked real well because you were the little guy, and I was like, look, I'm not going to hurt you. Mm-hmm. Probably not going to hurt you.
You were the big guy who wanted to be the little guy, and I was the little guy who wanted to be the big guy, so go figure on that one.
The largest arms.
I actually did that at the last event when I was wrestling the Q-tip. I actually pulled out the largest arms. The longest arms. I actually did that maneuver.
The longest arms. And again, like right there, we need this is what we're talking about, the longest arms. Crazy. Yeah, tags never really... Good factions.
All the factions, but not really tags.
Yeah, we like rolled right into that, like followed the WWE. Like, all right, look, we're not gonna have one or two people together. You got fucking 5 people. Like, you got a whole squad of people.
No, there was Capital Punishment. There was the DOD. There was High Authority. There was the Terrible Resolution.
Capital Punishment?
It was Atom Bomb, Evil Aggressor, Little T when he was the whooping boy when he pulled away from Johnson. The EWA Duck.
All right, man. Cool. I don't remember that. Like, I remember all of those people, but I don't remember that they were factioned up. Was that when Evil Aggressor had the raincoat?
Oh, jeez. The raincoat and that like the stolen like road construction sign, or
Why
not, or
did
with
they
that with
bring
the road.
that?
What?
It was a roadblock.
The roadblock with the lady dance around with and do the Al Snow thing.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Okay, so you had capital punishment. What else? You had the dealers of death.
Mm-hmm. The terrible revolution. All the hooded men.
Eventually, the Ministry of Parkness.
Just buy 4 hoods. Okay, you can be a hooded man.
Yeah, here's the sweatshirt. Do you have a hoodie? Good. Get your ass out there. Pull it tight. We don't want to see your face. We mostly had a story.
I can actually remember it was when we were coming back to my yard when I wanted to change it back to WWA. There's actually Cannabis Chris Cadambios who was like, "No, you can't change it, dude. It's EWA, dude. You can't like."
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm dead serious. He was the one who was like, "Dude, you can't change it back to WWA, dude. It's EWA. It's like, can't keep changing it around." And it's like, dude, it's established. That's when it officially became Entertainment Wrestling Alliance.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that he like was
He
that like committed to it. I mean, he showed up. He wrestled. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that he.
I just
had,
remember
like,
talking to him about that, and he was the one who actually was like, "Dude, you gotta keep it EWA."
Yeah, that's really cool.
But we're not in Euclid anymore. He said, "What? Doesn't have to be a city."
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's not like I mean, I'm sure most of the people that wrestle had no idea what the fuck, like what EWA
Right.
was.
Dude,
You know?
people now don't want to know it.
Like just rolled in. We're
They
like,
barely know it now because it's.
we got done with football practice. Who we wrestling? Like, okay, guys. Oh boy.
Okay, not only did we run out of memory, we also had the camera die, so I think this might be a good point to cut it off. But we hope you enjoyed the first ever Live It, Love It podcast. You could see it on Live It, Love It EWA, one of the 2 YouTube channels, along with the other one, which is EWA Central, which is the current EWA videos and most current stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy. And we used to say it at the end of every event, and we're going to say it now. Live it, love it, EWA.
Scripts, my guy. Scripts.
What? Did that? No, that was way sweeter.